Okay. Happy Sunday, everyone. Uh it's actually kind of interesting. This is actually not a bad time to stream. At least for my immediate audience who, I guess for lack of a better word, don't have anything better to do. Welcome, guys. Yeah, so today, as the title suggests, we are finishing what we started yesterday, which is, oh, why did no one tell me I didn't move this back? Not that it matters much. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, that was a call. I could. So for those of you not in the Discord chat, um, essentially, the moment I leave, there is a general descent into conspiracy theory in the Discord chat about who's calling me for what reason and why, and it's it is what it is. Anyway, so we're good for today, or we're good for this section of today. I was gonna say maybe I should just keep it on this end, so everyone has an idea of what part of the day we're looking at. Because colors don't really matter to you guys, right? I mean, not that you guys even really care about. You're just 3/4 of you are here just because you want to drink and listen, and like make fun of me at the same time. So, I mean, who am I to argue? As long as you're having fun. Okay. I was gonna say we finished the second part of the day, I believe. Because, yes, we finished the second part of the day because there's going to be that. So now let's move on to the third part, which is sort of where the big collective reshuffle is coming from. So we're just going to disable that. Okay. So the 10th, in the meantime, has sort of done this very interesting. Okay, first of all, the 50, the corp headquarters, has sort of needed by necessity retreated sort of further north, which makes it which essentially put it out of contact. Actually, let's double check. No, it can just stay here, but it's certainly losing contact with the formations in the south. And so we're gonna put back in here. This will do an interesting thing like that. And the 4th guards will do this. And of course, responding to this particular reshuffle, we're going to have some technocratic offensives. By which I mean there's going to be this kind of thing. This kind of thing. The 15th, that's moving up to here. The 15th is sort of sitting here now. 23rd, the 9th. It is a pretty big reshuffle in that because a lot of formations moved, just to free up a single formation. Let's keep in mind, because a lot of formations moved. There's been sort of this general solidifying of the front, right? So the 8th, the 12th, suddenly, like, essentially the collective gave up quite a bit of ground that was hard to hold to make sure that they had enough for their own purposes. So this is done. There's a general movement here along the front. And then there's a little bit of defensive there. And we're also essentially saying the front now looks like this. With a collective. With the 5th guards sort of trying to ease itself. Trying to make sure that it's got where it needs to be. And so the 15th is still on the move in that particular direction. Incidentally, not that I want to like be too proud about it, but you know what? Our background music is great, okay? I don't care if you guys don't like it. I don't care if you guys don't like it. I love it. So, okay, 53rd. Excuse me. You guys are just saying that because you're jealous. Come on. Don't think I don't know that. Okay, so the general rebalance has happened, and let's just double check. The front lines have moved just because of that. No movement here. And let's keep in mind that the 3rd is actually quite a under strength core, right? Because there's a lot of empty space along the front of the 3rd that, if properly exploited, could be very useful. But unfortunately, because the 51st has been sort of on the back foot all this time, our friend Water Under Tree was just never able to do anything interesting, right? And so the biggest problem right now is this area. Let's move that. We're gonna have to move these formations. Oops. The 5th, 22nd. The 22nd now has an interesting position where it's now able to essentially attack down against the 3rd guards in 2 directions, and so the 3rd guards has to move. At this point, if the 3rd guards doesn't move and the 8th continues to retreat, then it might as well just be done. Right, so the 3rd guards, oops, did I just completely take it from over there? I know I have to excuse me. No, I'll redo my arrows at some point. Actually, you know what? Why don't one of you sponsor me to redo my arrows? So essentially, right when I said, why don't one of you guys sponsor me to redo my arrows, someone said, we'll get so and so to sponsor you to redo your arrows. Yeah, have him sponsor me. Put on the pressure, yo. The 7th is now here. We're going to. Oh no, that's the wrong color. That's okay though. So this area is actually quite hard to get across just because of how busy it is. So that's why it's like it's not absolutely okay to leave it completely undefended, but you can sort of, if you have enough force elsewhere, you can leave it a little bit of undefended. Yes. And I'm just gonna steal this arrow. So this is a little bit tragic, right? Because the 10th is trying to catch up to the front that's moving, but it is not able to do so because the front is moving along with it. So it's sort of the flank guard of the 7th is actually doing quite well. Let's hello, come with me. There we go. So the 11th is so now we're going. Our second echelon forces are deployed. The 11th is going to actually move south, southwest, and the 3rd is going to move northwest. And so essentially, what's going to end up happening is the 3rd is going to deploy on this end, the 11th is going to deploy here, and they're just going to do one big push towards the west. I mean, of course, that's the ideal, right? So the point there being that between the 7th, the 2 artillery divisions, and the 5th, they have torn open essentially this area, and that is allowing that one second, let me just make this. That is allowing the collective to expand and take up all of the front. Of course, having no reinforcements is terrible, but you know, that's the way these things go. And some interesting points as well, right? Like the 3rd also has to move because there's now an artillery regiment just aiming for it. Move this forward. Court level is going that way. This is gone. And so this looks like a complete breakdown for the collective, especially because the 8th and the 3rd have essentially lost command and control. There will be some reinforcements coming on this end, but that's gonna take a while. And there will be something needs to be done here to free up formations. There will be formations that come, but like it's a difficult journey. So let's see, this is going to be 66. So 66%. You guys see it? Yeah, you guys can see it. It's this number up here. Oh, you can't see the number, but now you can, right? Yes. You can see this number up here. That is the opacity value. I'm simply using that value to denote, at least to myself, how long it takes for reinforcements to arrive. So when it's 66%, the next turn it'll be 100%, and then the turn after that, reinforcements arrive, and that means the moment something turns 66 opacity, it's 2 turns away from having reinforcements. I think this area we have done properly. So let's do this. This attack is ongoing. This attack is now, the 5th is now ordered into combat. There's nothing going on here. There's some minor skirmishes that are happening on this end, but of course, because these bridges are really how should we say, they're very narrow, so they're very easy to defend, especially if you can put a platoon at one end, and as long as they have enough ammunition, they can just fire in ranks and nothing can cross that. So there's not a lot, so it's just skirmishing. Of course, now if you had artillery, that would be different. There's nothing going on here. There's no way for the 3rd. We talked about that. The 1st, there's no real way for the 1st to oh no, there is. And also we do need to we do need to start considering the artillery more. So the first artillery is attacking this, and essentially what will happen next turn is the 5th is gonna get chased north of Beavis Marks, and the collective, the technocrats will regain this line, and then, you know, the 1st can move and then help that, or it can help this area, all that good stuff. Let's see, and then we need to do these 2 formations. This is here. The 3rd Artillery Regiment is letting loose, so to speak. But not at that rate, 250, because we are also, oops. Because we are also doing this, right? Like, it's essentially the point is to get the collective off of the valley, so that it allows the technocrats to do a attack from the north type, and if it's at all possible to envelop these 2 formations in the north, that would be amazing, right? Let's see. We wanted to have this over here. And that's it. That's it for this port. I've already promised a Friday ritual. I'm not going to then now do another Sunday evening ritual for you Londoners, all right? We're doing things on Friday, or I hope to do things on Friday afternoon, Friday noon for me, so evening for London, morning for the West Coast. But that's not guaranteed. Anyway, so we're doing this. Incidentally, shouldn't you guys be thanking me? I mean, I heard of a deal that's going on because of my channel, so shouldn't you guys be thanking me? The answer is yes, you should. Where's my thank you? Where's my finder's fee? It's okay, I'll just say you're welcome. You're welcome. But I mean, that's kind of, I'm happy for you, right? Because this is actually an interesting way of doing business, and it's really what doing business is about in a lot of the world, where it is not so much about, because there's so many people out there. It's not so much about what you know, or how I mean, we all know this, but I'm saying this for the other viewers. It's not about how wonderful your product is, but a lot of the time it's just, do you have the ability to recognize an opportunity, or are you there when an opportunity arises? And we talked about this during our stream about success, and, you know, the nature of success and what makes some people more successful than others, and that is I mean, unfortunately, that is part of it. Like, if we were all omniscient, then it wouldn't even matter, because, well, like, our lives would be so different. Oh wait, did I not do this one? No, I did this one. Okay, we're good. It's just that nothing changed on that front. Right. So, let's move 3rd back like this. The 8th back like this. The 3rd needs to continue to retreat. The 5th now is doing this kind of thing. The 3rd Artillery Regiment now has only 1 point of attack. Yep. There you go. You're welcome. I mean, you're absolutely right. I am rubbing it in your face, but that's kind of the point, right? Because that's if the roles were reversed, you know exactly that you would do exactly the same thing. So my point remains. All right. The first guards is being pushed backwards. The third is now here. The 11th is now here. And now we come to an interesting junction, right? Which is what will happen to both the 3rd and the 11th. And I'm going to open their formation counters just a little bit so that we can see that they have really spread out now. Let's there. This arrow should go. The 4th is now on this end. So all these formations are essentially what am I saying? Yeah, everything here is good. This goes away. The 15th. So as the northern portion starts to thin out a little, we'll start to see certain, like, see if there's anything that can be taken advantage of. Incidentally, the technocrats have essentially reconquered the balcony here. They're just like the 53rd is still in that reconquered area. Let's talk about this. The 25th is being forced to fall back like this. That regiment gets reabsorbed into the 5th moves up. And so we're still in this kind of this is a pretty positional part where there's not really an ability to make gains unless you have something that can break this position right open. And in this case, there isn't much, but that doesn't stop, you know, the collective from trying, especially if they can reconquer essentially all of Tower Gateway, because then this road becomes a natural barrier, and what is now taking essentially 2 full field formations to cover. A single formation can cover this, and this over here is basically impassable for a squirrel, right? So it's an important point, pressure point. Let's see. So that has changed. We're good. The 15th is in its new location. This has changed. This has definitely changed the most. And this is now 66th. So essentially what I'm saying is, oh, this is 100. On the 20th, on the dawn of the 20th, there's probably going to be a formation that magically appears here. And that will essentially help us. Okay, let's see. I think we're good. Incidentally, I like how this looks. The two Army Corps are essentially divided at basically the exact same line. which means this is a pretty weak spot right now. And if the 11th were to, or say the second guards were to be able to do something, that might end up working fairly well. Let's see, the 8th has fallen back, the 3rd. I think the 11th will go in this direction, mainly. This should come up front. The 2nd will move this direction. All in all, I think this was a very productive day for the technocrats, right? Because it essentially started with a static position that had been static since like the 3rd day. We're now at day 19, and they cracked it right open. Having 2 artillery regiments really did help. It cracked it right open, and it progressed quite nicely, I would say. There's nothing more on this end. This is still being reduced. This is hard positional fighting, so there's nothing there. These formations are all exhausted, both the 51st and the 3rd. And also because the initiative is, further to the west, so I think that's it for today. Yeah, we're fairly well off. This is coming in 2 turns. There's nothing coming on this side. There's nothing coming for the technocrats. Yeah, okay. There is going to be some interesting things here. You're right. To the south of St. Paul's, and St. Paul's is in a very important location for all of Squirrel kind, and so St. Paul's will be one of the biggest fought over areas. It's kind of like how Tower of London itself is a very important point, but the Tower of London was very much a coup de grace, right? Like they managed to exploit a very weak line that the collective wasn't paying much attention to, and just take 2 formations, 16th and 15th actually, and just took it. And that's good for them. Aren't you happy for them? I'm happy for them. 22nd has moved. Headquarters of the 4th has... Oh wait, no. We haven't moved the 2nd artillery. Okay. That makes more sense. I was getting a little bit worried there. The 2nd artillery... I think the 2nd artillery is actually going to continue moving forward, because the 3rd is moving forward. So the problem is now, of course, if the 2nd gets caught by the 10th, if the 10th is able to do that, then perhaps that'll be dangerous. The 7th hasn't moved either, so let's move the 7th. 7th is in this position. You know what? Maybe I should take let's take a brigade for the 7th. And just place it here, just in case someone complains. And we'll call it the 337th. There we go. 337 Brigade is now ready for action. It is essentially here, just so we can see it. And the 7th itself shrinks a little bit to make up for that, and we're good. Good. Yeah, the question was, will we be sticking with native planters forever, or will we actually move away from that? The answer is yes, we will move away from that. And we're sort of seeing the very first notions of that, where the collective has incorporated an army, and now as we get to the army level, suddenly it becomes a lot less shall we say, like we'll start to our map will become so big that we'll start having to zoom out a lot, And by then, you see, even as we're looking at it right now, right, like it's almost impossible to tell these numbers now. And so as we zoom out more and more, we're just going to have to abandon, traditional division counters, and stick to like corpse numbers. But that's not yet, in a while, right? Like you can imagine, given that this front has however many formations does it have? 5, 8. It has 8 formations? 4, yeah. Well, 9-ish. 8 formations makes about, like, you could make an army out of 8 formations, 9 formations. And as the number of formations simply grows, we're going to start seeing that. Now, on the collective, on the technocrat side, you could imagine now everything here to the east being an army, and as more and more reinforcements, if this remains, a mobile sector. Because if this sector remains essentially static, what we could do is we could just cut it, and we'll just talk about the what am I saying? We'll talk about the campaign in this area only, and forgetting about this. And in those cases, we can very much go back to using NATO symbols, and we'll just cut back to this, occasionally to show that nothing has happened. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to our friends in Great Britain for, I don't know. I mean, it's only like 9 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Who knows, man? Early evening in Great Britain, and yes, I used to know this, and I'm so glad I don't have to anymore because I'm not part of that life. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for watching. Thank you for our sponsors, 2 sponsors this time, actually. Thank you very much for forcing me to do this while talking. It's actually, to me, it's a lot of fun. I have a lot of other things I would like to talk about as well, so it's an extra incentive to do this while talking, and that's really great. So thank you very much. In conclusion, download Firefox, don't use Chrome. Chrome is a terrible I don't even know how else to say it, just emphatically terrible program. Have a good day.